Kia ora koutou and welcome to the Shores of Tripoli in about 3 minutes. Review copy used. It has a solo mode. It's a game for 1 to 2 players, playing time is medium, and it's a relatively simple game. It's 1801, and the new American Republic is still finding its feet in the world. Its merchant ships are being raided in the Mediterranean. It dispatches its navy to investigate, and Tripoli declares war. This is America's first real naval war. Who will win? The American player wins if they can force a treaty by meeting all these requirements or if they invade and occupy Tripoli. The Tripoli player wins if they obtain 12 gold from raiding or if they eliminate all US troops. They can also win by sinking 4 US frigates. Card management. Each player has a deck of cards they use to take actions. Dice. Conflict and raids are resolved with dice rolls. Asymmetry. The two sides have very different strengths and weaknesses. Player turn. The game starts in spring 1801. Each turn advances the season marker 1 step, advancing the year marker every 4 turns. The US will get new and repaired frigates at the start of each year. Each player starts with 3 preset cards and then shuffles the rest of their cards. Each year you will draw 6 cards from your player deck. The board consists of American ports in blue, Tripoli ports in red, and Tripoli allies in orange. The light blue areas around some ports are called patrol zones, and the dark blue area is the open sea. Each season, the Americans will take 1 action, and then Tripoli will take 1 action. The American actions are to discard a card to place a gunboat in Malta. They can play an event card and remove it from play. Here we place 2 Swedish frigates in the patrol zone of Tripoli. The third action is to discard a card to move 2 frigates. If this is to a friendly port or patrol area, nothing happens. If they move into a port with ships, they attack. Frigates roll 2 dice, other ships 1. Each 6 does a hit. Frigates take 2 hits to remove, and frigates with 1 hit are placed on the year track and can be recovered next year. If they move into a Tripoli port with no ships, they bombard, removing 1 troop cube for each 6 rolled. In both attacks, return American ships to Malta afterwards. The Tripoli players' actions are to play events, which is how they bring allies into play. They can discard a card to place 1 Corsair in Tripoli, and also discard 1 card to raid from Tripoli. Note, allies can only raid using specific event cards. To raid, move the Corsairs from the port to the patrol zone. If there are no ships there, skip the next step. If there are, the Americans get an interception attack, removing 1 Corsair for each 6 rolled. The survivors hit the open sea and raid, gaining 1 gold coin for each 5 or 6 rolled. The Corsairs then return to port. American ground forces can only attack using events. Move the army and frigates as instructed on the card. Then conduct bombardment. Each player can also play battle events, and you resolve those. Then each troop fights hitting on a 6. Unlike naval battles and bombardments, keep rolling until only one side remains. Why would you like this game? Wargame and low complexity are 2 things you rarely hear mentioned together. But here we have the Shores of Tripoli, a game that is both those things. And it doesn't sacrifice the gameplay either. There is a real depth here for a comparatively simple rule set. The 2 sides play out very differently, and the American player is demonstrably stronger, but they can't be everywhere at once. So the Tripoli player needs to hit and juke and outmaneuver them. There's also a nice bit of history included for you to read up about the conflict. All up, a great 2-player game for people wanting to try war games for the first time, or for veterans of the genre. The best thing about this game is just being a light war game that's good. That alone is an exceptional thing. However, a war game is still a war game, and if that isn't a theme you dig, then this game will not be for you. And hitting on 6s can lead to some dramatic reversals. If you can't adapt to 1 bad roll sinking your ships, you won't like this game. For a more complex game in the region, try Colonial Twilight. And for a pure solo war game, try Pavlov's House. Shores of Tripoli, a fun campaign for North Africa. Gold medal game. This game was voted for review by our patrons on Patreon. And a reminder, 3 Minute Board Games does not do paid content. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.